When a user tries to join a full session, what should happen? Well, let's say that they are added to a waitlist. Why not? And now it will process this response into more requirements. Later, with the chat, you can always change requirements a little bit. So don't worry if you don't get them all right the first time. Then in the next step, we identify journeys. Journeys are user-centered steps through the system that can be coded individually. These will be the source of what we design our slices with. As you can see, it comes up with user registration. It comes up with joining the CrossFit session or joining the session whitelist. We can choose one of them, discover it, and then continue developing the components. So let's discover the user registration. It will start analyzing the steps that the user would take. So it would open the registration form, registers with name and email, and the user account is created. And also think about what alternative flows could be there. So email already exists, just like our specifications or invalid email format. We can now already go into the component generation, which is our technical view on the application instead of our functional view now. Or we can do some more. So let's also analyze the join CrossFit session. As you can see him working in the chat here, we can also change anything we want using the chat. So let's do that in a second. Join CrossFit session. So here we can see that the user tries to join the session, it enrolls in the session, or alternatively, it has already joined the session before, or it has a scheduling conflict with another enrolled session, or the session is at maximum capacity already because of other people joining. And then it will actually join the waitlist. So let's approve these two and generate components out of them, because then we can go into how DCB actually works into this. So it's going to come up with some components that share a common model for validation. We're only focusing on command models right now because it's the most interesting part of DCB. So it's come up with two services, the user registration services and the session enrollment service. Let's take a look at the user registration service. So it has made here a command model that has an email and registration status. And it will use, to build this model, the user registered event. Whenever a command comes in, it uses the email tag to query the event store. This is why this has the yellow color. And this will give all former user registered events tagged with that email. They are also tagged by user ID because we will need to later validate based on user ID for the joint session. Of course, it will also see that exceptions need to be generated, so it will do that as well. Again, if there are any questions about this, show in the chat. Let me know in the chat. But this is basically what DCB is. It correlates these tags and then builds a model out of them. I've got to click approve. Then we have the session enrollment service. This is a little bit more complex. So this has the join session command, which has the session ID and user ID as a tag, and then eventually leads to a user enrolled in session. Now, to speed this along, I'm not going to generate this one. We are going to build this one ourselves in a little bit. So we are going to generate the user registration service right now. We can continue to the code, and then you get the configuration of how you want your code to be generated. So right now we only support Kotlin. Java is coming this month, and you can add Maven or Gradle, but I like Maven a little bit more. And we can io.axoniq.livestream. We can customize our artifact. That's called the Axoniq gem. Right away, it's gonna make a Spring Boot free, soon to be 4 skeleton with the messages that go in and out of your system. And we'll start coding the validation models that are needed to validate your command.